So I kind of use a makeshift acronym, which is FADES, lawyer, shh. So FADES, am I free to leave? When you've been stopped, if you're walking down the street, an officer might say, hey, how are you? You, of course, can speak back, but if they try to stop you, you can confirm that it is a stop by saying, am I free to leave? The next thing you could do is ask, am I being arrested? If you feel like the stop has gone on for quite a little bit of time and the questions are getting more invasive, beyond just a general hi, how you doing, did you see anybody in this area, or we're looking for a missing child, something like that, where you can tell it's turning into more of an investigation, you can ask, am I being arrested, for what charge? And a lot of the times that's just helpful to know, because everything doesn't always look like law and order. The next thing is, do not consent to a search. Officers don't have to tell you, unlike Miranda warnings where they tell you you have a right to remain silent and a right to a lawyer, they don't have to tell you that you do not have to consent to a search. And so it's very important that even if, let's say, an officer does have grounds to search you, a lot of the times when you are actually being arrested, they can search in what's called your lunge distance or your wingspan to confirm that there are no weapons in that area. And again, many times in a traffic stop specifically, that does not include the trunk. So they'll say, can I take a look in your trunk? And you, being unaware that they don't have a right to look in your trunk without a warrant, might say, no, I do not consent to a search. And then if they do it anyway, you've at least said that you didn't consent. The next thing in the FADES acronym is E, express silence. So what that means is a little counterintuitive. You have to assert your right to remain silent. You have to expressly say, I want to remain silent. And after you say that, all questioning should stop. Now, if you reinitiate conversation with the officer by saying, hey, actually, I'll tell you what you want to know. Can I get a deal? Then you've waived that right to remain silent. So it's good to expressly say, I want to remain silent. So again, going through the acronym, we got, am I free to leave, for F? Am I being arrested, for A? I do not consent to a search, for D. I express my right to remain silent, for E and S. That's FADES. Then lawyer, everyone knows this, but you always say, I want a lawyer now, okay? I want a lawyer now. And the reason why is because even if you can't afford a lawyer, one must be provided at you at the time that you are arraigned, right? And so the good thing to know is that once you ask for a lawyer, all questioning must cease. Once you've emphatically stated that, you should remain quiet. So that is why the final thing, if you can't do anything else, is shh. And I know that sounds juvenile, but a lot of times when people are nervous around interacting with officers, they don't realize, I just shouldn't say anything. It's best if I just be quiet. Especially if they feel like I've absolutely done nothing wrong. I have nothing to hide. Sure, search everything. I don't care. I just want to go home. But you never know. So it's always better to just be quiet.